How does it get here? This is a quick one to make you sort of think a little bit about the larger picture. Now, I used to own a business, as many of you know. Now I'm poor and I've never felt so rich. It was a panel beating, spray painting, fiberglassing business. I'd done mainly restoration stuff, old school stuff. I managed to corner myself a good little market for a while. How that ended is it's questionable on a few sides. I know I rattled a few cages, so things happened. Now, I want you to think a little bit. In this business, of course, I needed to buy paint. We don't have a paint company in Australia that actually makes paint. It makes all the tints. We don't have an Australian paint system. So all that stuff has to come from overseas. All the tinters, the tinting machines, everything. Most of it's either European or American. Mostly European. We have some cheap Asian crap. Now, in order to come here, well, I'd go to my paint supplier who had what they ordered for their shop. Paint and Parts, which is a branch of Rare Spares, and vice versa. Now, each store puts in their what they need each month or quarter, and they have their bill that they have to pay to their supplier, to the head brand. It's like a franchise. But all of that has to come in bulk, doesn't it, in shipping containers. Now, those shipping containers will sit on the dock until they get looked at and sussed out. Make sure there's nothing illegal in there or nothing creepy crawly in there that shouldn't be here. Like anything that's a biosecurity or anything that's contraband, illegal substances, firearms, etc. Now, not everything that comes in shipping containers gets looked at. Now, you think, let's go back to the paint thing. How many panel shops and paint shops are there around Australia? A lot. So you can imagine how many paint shops, how much has to come into the country to supply all of those shops. A phenomenal amount. Now think about how many drug addicts there are in Australia. Way more. Way more. You could say per town, per paint shop, there's probably 50 times more drug addicts than there are paint shops. Ah, easy. Keep going. Way more. Now, with all the low-hanging fruit that the police keep busting over and over and over again with their 8-ball, their ounce of crack, and yes, Australia does have its bucket crack cooks. I know what I'm talking about, and you know I know what I'm talking about. Why do you think they keep going after the low-hanging fruit? Why do you think that is? And they all think they're getting these great wicked busts, these wicked hauls, and now and then you'll see on the news, oh, they caught somebody with $1 million worth of crack or heroin on a boat somewhere. Do you know how infinitesimal an amount that is? It's a piss in the ocean compared to what is actually needed to supply the country. It's nothing. It's a pimple on a camel. It's a pimple on an elephant's ass. It's nothing. The amount that is required to supply the country for a low-hanging fruit dealer to come out of the local cop shop that day and by the end of the night be stocked up again. Where's it coming from? Think about it. Use your fucking loaf. How's it getting here? Because there's no way bucket crack cooks are making that much crack. It comes here through diplomatic immunity shipping containers. What are diplomatic immunity shipping containers? Containers that belong to foreign embassies. Containers that belong to have connections to governments, Freemasonry. They don't have to go through quarantine. They're not allowed to be looked at because it has diplomatic immunity. They'll be labelled as art and such. Art for an embassy art gallery function, for some kind of function to do with the Freemasons that they put on. You ever noticed the travelling art galleries and stuff? No one goes and looks at that crap. It's worth a shitload of money. Nobody buys anything. Why are they travelling around the country like they do, around the state, with that garbage art? It's not the art that's travelling around. It's the drugs. Yeah, I said you should have left me alone. I was going back to sleep, but you relit me wick, didn't you? I'm going to blow the top off of everything. I know where it all comes from. Now, a big part of why people aren't standing up and people aren't interested in politics and such, they're being kept dumb. They've been kicked to the gutter and downtrodden to the point they have now become addicts. And they have no control over their own habits. They'd rather just be left alone as long as they can get their drugs because the outside world has become too painful for them. There's too much shit going on and they don't know how to deal with it. They're afraid of it. So they hide inside the needle. They hide behind the bong. They hide in their bottle, mainly in the needle. They're in their crack pipe, the glass Harley. When I go to court, I'm attempting to blow all this out of the water. Why? Not to roll over on anybody, but to expose how we're being used and how they are being used to control the community. We are being controlled with drugs. Even the people that aren't on drugs are being controlled by drugs. Even the police that think that they're doing a good job are being controlled by drugs. Drugs aren't here by accident. And it's not like they can't bust them. It's because they are not able to. It's not that they won't. They're not able to. They keep getting led in the wrong direction, led by the nose to the same handful of dealers in town over and over and over again. All the low-hanging fruit. But for some reason, they're still always able to get more, to get more, to get more. They don't think far enough up the ladder to realise where it's coming from. Remember, I have Masons in my family. I know. This isn't speculation. This isn't something that I just dreamt up. I know. I know that a bunch of you people, like ministers and commissioners, you have all got stinking dirty fucking fingers. Members of council, you've got stinking dirty fingers. There are dead people's blood on your hands. Think about that, people. Next time you decide you want to vote, don't fucking do it. I don't. I will not commit treason against any of you good people. I will not do it. I will go to jail first. Oh yeah, and they took my firearms licence off me a couple of days ago. For no good reason. Just to try and poke me a bit more, thinking that I'm going to fold. The more you poke me, the more I'm going to come out of the woodwork. I'm not that easily intimidated. And prison does not frighten me one bit. There's only one way you're going to make me go away. And I don't think you want to do that, do you?